Hello. Hello, Dr. Janta.
Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am. Welcome.
Yeah, so we are here. We can start at 2:15, right?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Actually, our students are joining. So,
No problem.
shall we wait till 2:15, ma'am?
Sure. Yeah, yeah. When we are here, you let us know. We can start when you let us know. We will start the main program.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
All right.
Ma'am, are you saying something? Actually, you are muted. I couldn't hear what you said in the last.
No, I did not say anything, Janta. I just said that we will start at 2:15 after the
Yeah,
students.
sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. We will start sharply at 2:15.
Sure, sure. Okay. After this
Ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, we can start.
Good afternoon, ma'am, and warm greetings to you all. And it is really indeed our pleasure to welcome you all here. On behalf of the Girls Battalion NCCST SRNM College, I take pleasure to welcome you all for this national webinar on Indian Sign Language. The International Week of Deaf, Hearing Impaired People has been celebrated during the last full week of September. This week, we come together to recognize that deaf people also have the right to share our communities, our cultures, our languages, the sign languages which unite us all. This year's theme for the International Week of Deaf People is celebrating thriving deaf communities. Deaf communities have been expanding and thriving throughout the years, and now it is a time to celebrate their incredible endurance at the local, national, and international levels. This is an important week for the recognition of deaf people. It is vital for deaf communities and deaf organizations. This falls under the key principle, nothing about us without us. This webinar is organized with a notion to create awareness among the students, so thereby they will spread it in their surroundings, and anyone in their surroundings, either their kith or kin or their friends, may be benefited through their knowledge. At this outset, we have got the right resource persons for this webinar. It is indeed my privilege to introduce and welcome our chief guest, Ms. Rajagopal, HOD, Faculty HEFP, Mr. Satyadas, an Indian Sign Language teacher, Ms. Shanti PS, Sign Language interpreter, resource persons.
Excuse me, there's Jinsey Mariam Jacob, who is also right now signing for me.
Okay.
She's our Disley student.
Okay. My hearty welcome to Jinsey Mariam Jacob, the student of National Institute of Speech and Hearing. All our resource persons are rendering their service in National Institute of Speech and Hearing, Thiruvananthapuram. Welcome, madams and sir. I have to thank Ms. Rajagopal for extending her willingness to offer a session for us today. Thank you and welcome you once again, madam. Next, I extend a warm welcome to the staff members, students, and NCC cadets of our college, as well as the other participants. Thank you. Madam, the session is over to you now.
Thank you, Dr. Ajanta. We're really happy. In fact, when I got your mail, we were quite happy because it very much coincided with whatever we had planned for the last week of September. As you introduced us in your introduction, we are an institute catering to persons with disabilities, especially deaf and hard of hearing community. So please do, I encourage the audience to check our website whenever you can, because it lists all the activities that we do in this area. And it's not just for speech or deaf and hard of hearing population. We also cater to other disabilities. So I would just like to introduce my session with a small intro on the activities of NISH. I will be playing 2 videos also. Because I want to take very little time, I don't want to spend too much time on this, because I want you to attend Satya Sir's class, which is where he will be taking an Indian Sign Language class for all of you, which I'm sure you are excited about. So any such drives, any such programs that we get invited to spread the awareness on Indian Sign Language, we accept willingly. Because we are very much happy that this is spreading across the country. As you may know, the Prime Minister had announced when the National Education Policy 2020 was reviewed, he had announced that ISL was going to be included as a subject in schools. So that was a very welcome information received not only by the deaf and hard of hearing community, but also across India, and especially institutes serving this community, because we do feel that this is very much needed. Introducing ISL as a subject with, as you learn second language and third language, as you learn Hindi or French in schools, now ISL is going to come as a subject. This will make the whole country inclusive, wherein we are learning the language of the deaf and hard of hearing. So this is a very welcome change, and it is quite with the great happiness that we received this information or this announcement from the PM. We also like to share another important bit of news that happened yesterday. Our community, our deaf and hard of hearing ISL experts at niche teachers, and also members of the All Kerala Association of the Deaf, collaborated together, and we brought out the Malayalam letters of the alphabet in sign language, the first of its kind. So we had the release yesterday. It was released by the Social Justice and Higher Education Minister, Professor R. Bindu. And it has now come in all the leading dailies today. And our team is being interviewed by TV channels. So it's quite, we are very thrilled about this change, because we see that having such the alphabets in sign language being made available to the school children will help the school children to pick up their reading and writing skills, and develop their skills age appropriately. So this is also something that we look forward to implementing in schools, etc. So now let me move on to the presentation. I'd like to share my PPT. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay. Right. So that's our campus. I don't know how many of you have heard of NISH, or if you're familiar with our institute. We are an institute in Thiruvananthapuram, situated in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. So that's our campus, that's our buildings. We have three main buildings. And we are situated in a place called Akulam, very near the Akulam Lake. So very beautiful, picture. Looks like a resort. Okay, moving on. So we are an autonomous situation under the State Social Justice Department, and that's our vision. Our vision is to be an institution of excellence in many areas, not just education. Education is our primary objective, of course, but education, research, and service, and also to provide an inclusive environment for people of all abilities so that they can achieve their full potential. These are our mission statements: to provide the best inclusive and integrated higher education for persons with disability. When I say inclusive and integrated, that's because we have programs exclusively for the deaf and hard of hearing. We have 3 UG programs affiliated with the Kerala University, and we also have ASLP, audiology, speech language pathology programs for the hearing students. We also have occupational therapy course, which was just started in 2021. So that's what I mean when I say inclusive and integrated the thing. But of course, for persons with disability, we have special courses for them. Then also to create and prepare a pool of world-class professionals, not just educators, researchers, practitioners, rehabilitators. So all that we strive to create and prepare. We also have or continue to do research in disability studies and rehabilitation sciences, which is expected of such an institute. We provide clinical services and key intervention models in disability services on and off campus. Now, what happened during the lockdown and during COVID, etc., many of our activities, clinical services were provided online, which is a huge challenge, of course. All our activities moved online. Some activities have still continuing online, though some of our units are functioning in the campus right now. To provide leadership in formulating policies for persons with disabilities. So these are our mission statements. So a little history, how we started. We started in 97 with 3 preschool students. The photo that you see there are our first 3 preschool students, and we started in a rented building. Our initial focus, of course, was on speech and language training for the deaf and hard of hearing children. So if you see the pictures, they have hearing aids, and they have they're wearing a harness, and those hearing aids are analog hearing aids, and they are pocket model. So initially when we used to teach classes for these children, we had to hold the hearing aids in our hand and speak into the mic of the hearing aid so that it is received by the children using the hearing aids. So these were the first kind of hearing aids that were used then. Now, of course, we have BTE, etc., and the hearing aids are digital and more advanced and more technologically advanced. So these are our first 3 kids. Let's look at the growth. In 1998, we started Diploma in Software Systems, which is in short DSS for deaf and hard of hearing students. In 2002, we started the Bachelor in Audiology and Speech Language Pathology. In 2006, we started the PG program, Masters in Audiology, Speech Language Pathology. In 2020, the PG program was divided into 2, in the sense we started 2 programs, MSc Audiology and MSc Speech Language Pathology. MSLP became 2, MSc Audiology and MSc Speech Language Pathology. In 2008, we started the UG program, the degree program for the deaf and hard of hearing students. So when I say started for deaf and hard of hearing, it is only for the deaf and hard of hearing students. We do not have any other disability in that program, and no hearing persons either, exclusively for the deaf and hard of hearing students. So 3 programs: computer science, fine arts, and commerce. So you would find that our programs would have HI within brackets. In 2021, we started the occupational therapy course also. In 2007, we moved to our own campus. These are the 3 buildings that I talked about. Dhyan, where most of our clinical services, etc., take place. That was the first building that came in the campus. The second building is Amrut, where we conduct our extension activities, services, etc. We also have the canteen on the floor below. And the third building, which came up, the most recent building, is Tejas, where I am stationed, and that's where we have the library and all our administration activities, and also all the academic programs are conducted in that building. So Tejas. These are our activities on campus. We conduct degree and diploma programs. We also have early intervention programs for children with hearing impairment and autism. We conduct audiological evaluations and interventions. We have speech evaluations and therapy, autism intervention. We conduct psychological evaluations and behavioral interventions. We have ENT evaluations. We have physiotherapy, occupational therapy. We conduct outreach programs for children. We also have an assistive technology program, which is offered by the Center for Assistive Technology Innovation. We conduct researches. We conduct trainings in ISL, and we have conduct trainings for parents, for teachers, etc. Whatever the requirement is, we conduct various trainings for the public, awareness programs for the public. We conduct seminars, workshops, etc. We also do a bit of communication and media development. We have our own department for that, who takes care of communication and media development. So with that, I would like to stop my PPT and go to my videos, which will show you the activities, whatever I mentioned. So let me just share the video. Sorry. Okay, is this link, is this video visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yeah, I'm going to play the video. Okay. So with this, actually, I would like to stop my presentation because I think I've exceeded my time. It's already 2:40, and I want you to join the ISL class. So over to Satya sir, and is it Jinsi who's going to be interpreting, or Shanti? Shanti. And over to Shanti for the interpretation.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So, ma'am, can you please spotlight Satya Das?
Yes, sure, ma'am. Just a minute. Yes, ma'am. It is done.
And we want all the students to switch on their cameras because this will be an interactive class.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Dear students,
So,
please switch on your camera.
so thank you. So you can see the PPT, right? It's clear.
Yes, ma'am. It
Yeah.
is visible.
So sir's name is Satya Sundar Das. He is working as ISL teacher here at Niche. So sir is deaf. He's deaf. So he's having an interpreter, and interpreter is me, Shanti. So if there is no interpreter, you will not understand what sir is signing. So he have an interpreter with him. So the sign for understand, I understand is this. And next, I don't understand. Okay, that is the sign for I don't understand. Okay, that is the sign for name. Name. You can practice with sir. So now we are going to learn the basic signs in Indian Sign Language. So ISL is to be taught only by deaf teachers, trained, certified deaf ISL teachers. Okay, clear? So Satya sir is a deaf ISL teacher. So, like hearing people can't teach ISL. So we are going to learn the signs now. So sir will be showing the signs and you have to practice that. You have to do the same with sir. Okay? Okay? Okay. So that is the sign for hello. Hello. You can do with sir. You have to repeat, you have to copy whatever sir is signing. Hello. That is the sign for hello. Yeah, good. Namaste. That is the sign for namaste. Good. Next one. Good morning. So there are two words, right? Good and morning. So that is the sign for good. And morning, that is the sign for morning. So together it's good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Like when we wake up, the sun is rising, right? In the same way. That is a sign for morning. Okay. Next is good afternoon. Good afternoon. At morning, the sun will be rising, right? And by afternoon, sun will be at this position almost, right? So that's why the sign. Okay, good afternoon. Understand? So next is good evening. Good evening. So, right, that is the sign for good evening. Next, good night. Night. That is the sign for good night. So you have to close all the fingers. It's not bright, right? It's dark. So you have to close all the fingers. Good night. Clear? You understood? Understood? Good? Okay. 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 That is the sign for yes. There are two signs. Second sign is like nodding your head. There are two signs. And next, no. That is also a sign for no. And the second sign is no. No. Okay. Please. Anybody? Do you know the sign for please? Anybody? What will be the sign for please? What do you think will be the sign for please? Anyone? Can you please show? No? Okay. That is the sign for please. Please. Yeah. Okay. Next. Sorry. 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 That is the sign for sorry. Next. Thank you. Not from lips. It's from chin. Thank you. Thank you. Not from lips. The sign is wrong. You have to do it from the chin. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Next. Welcome. 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 That is sign for welcome. Next. So you are students, right? So we will teach the sign for college. 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 That is sign for college. College. Next. University. University. Next. Class. That is a sign for class. Class. Clear? It's not like that. See the hand shape. See? That way. Yeah. Good. Next. Course. Course. That is a sign for course. Okay. Good. Like this. Course. Okay. Moving to next slide. Teacher. There are two signs. First sign is teacher. Okay. Next is student. Student. Read. That is the sign for read. Read. Good. Next. What do you think will be the sign for write? You will be knowing, right? What do you think? Anybody? So where are we writing? On our body, on air? We have to use our hands, right? We have to use both the hands. It's like this, right? Good. Next slide. Study. Study. That is the sign for study. Next. Learn. 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 Canteen. Canteen. That is the sign for canteen. So what do you think will be the sign for tea? What will be the sign for tea? Tea. Anybody? Any idea? Okay. Tea. That is the sign for tea. 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 Okay. Next. Coffee. Coffee. That is sign for coffee. Next. Food. Food or eat. Next. Drink. What will be the sign? Yes, that's right. Drink. Drink. Good. Next. School. School. That is a sign for school. Okay. Good. Next. Okay. Library. That is a sign for library. Library. Book. Book. What do you think will be the sign for computer? Computer. Computer. Good. Yes. So computer, that sign will be confusing if we do only the sign for keyboard. Any other idea? Yeah, that is the sign for computer. Okay. And laptop. That is a sign for laptop. It's different. Understand? Okay. Next. Fees. Fees. That is a sign for fees. Fees. Okay. What do you think will be the sign for exam? Any idea? Exam. Anybody? Okay, good. But the sign for exam is like this. Exam. Yeah. Exam. Okay. Next. What do you think will be the sign for pass? Pass. What will be the sign? Pass. Okay, I will tell. Yeah, that is the sign for pass. 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 Okay. Fail. That is the sign for fail. Just opposite to pass. Okay. So, do you think you will not be able to sign? You can sign, right? So how will you sign that? Yes, yes. Good. Next. So that is the sign for family. Family or family. There are two signs like this or the previous one. Okay. Male. Male. So that is the sign for male. Male. Female like this. Female. Okay. Grandfather. Grandfather. Why? Why this sign? Why do you use this sign? Why? Old people use stick to walk, right? That's why this sign. So next is grandmother, like this, huh? Grandmother. Okay, understand? Okay, next, father. Father. That is sign for father. Next, mother. What will you sign for mother? Yeah, good. That is the sign for mother. Next, husband. What will be the sign for husband? Okay, that is the sign for husband. Husband. So wife. What is the sign for wife? Good. Yes, that is the sign for wife. Good. Right. Very good. Next, brother. Brother. That is the sign for brother. Hmm. Okay. Next, sister. What will be the sign for sister? Yes, yes. Good. Very good. Next, son. 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 Next, daughter. Yeah, that is the sign for daughter. Okay. Next, boy. Boy. Girl. Girl. That is the sign for girl. Okay. Good. Understand? So numbers. That is the sign for numbers. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10. Okay. 1, 0, 0. That is 100. Okay. 100. Till 999. The numbers below 999 we can show like this. Okay, like 656 or something like that. It's okay. But above, like 1000 and above, the sign is different. That is the sign for 1000. Okay. Before we were doing like 100 400, right? That is different. So 1000, that is the sign for 1000. 1 and 3 zeros. Yeah. 1000. Next, 10,000. 10,000. Okay. Clear? 1 lakh. 1 lakh. Yeah. 1 lakh. Next, 1 crore. 1 crore. 1 crore. Okay. So if you think it's not right to do 1C, Is that possible to add zeros like 1, 0, 0, 0? It will be very difficult and confusing, right? Yeah. So it's easy to do like 1 lakh or 1 C, like 1 crore, and 1,000 like this. Okay, understand? Clear? Okay. 8, 6. Okay, you have to show the sign for 8 and 6. Anybody? The sign for 8. Anybody? The sign for 8. 8. Okay. Sorry, it's 86. So sign for 86. Anybody? 86. Just give a try. Okay, good. But this is the sign for 86. 8 and 6. Okay. 200. What is the sign for 200? 200. Right. Good. 2. Now to the left, to the right. Okay. Here. Now to the left. Good. Here. Okay. So weekday. Weekdays. Week. That is the sign for week. So okay. So he is going to show the ISL signs for days. That is Monday. Okay. Monday. Monday. Yeah. Either you can do like this. Yeah. 2 times. Then Tuesday. That is Tuesday. Next, Wednesday. Wednesday. Thursday. Thursday. Okay. Thursday. Not like this. Just with the fingers. Hold your left hand like this and tap with your right hand. Okay. Next. Okay. Next, Friday. Friday. That's the sign for Friday. Next, Saturday. Saturday. Saturday and Sunday. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That is sign for Sunday. Sunday. Okay. Clear? Understood? Clear? Okay. So there are few new signs that we use now. So COVID-19 or Corona. This is sign for COVID-19 or Corona. So actually this sign was invented maybe by 2020 because we were not using this sign as a regular sign. You have seen the picture of coronavirus, right? The structure, they have a crown-like structure, right? From that, we got this sign like this, the crown structure. Yeah. Okay, clear? Quarantine. Quarantine. That is a sign for quarantine. Lockdown. 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 Next, virus. Virus. That is sign for virus. Okay.
Excuse me, Shanti.
Um,
May I just
yes.
interrupt, Satya? May I just interrupt this session? Dr. Ajanta,
Yes, ma'am.
with your permission, I would like to leave now because I have another meeting scheduled right now at 3:10. May I leave?
Yes, please, ma'am. Yes, please. Thank you for your cooperation and making this session a very wonderful, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. We will continue. So what will be the sign for mask? You are using mask, right? So what do you think will be the sign for mask? Very good. Now the sign for mask is like this. Mask. Mask. Yes. Next. Sanitizer. Sanitizer. Yes. Sanitizer. Or you can do like this also. Both are right. Next. Social distancing. Social distancing. Yeah. That is the sign for social distancing. We have to keep distance, right? Next, what do you think the sign for vaccine is? So that is the sign for vaccine. Vaccine, yes. Good. Okay. So we are next going to see simple sentences. So here we have English order and the sign order in the PPT. Okay. So the sign for the food is good is like this. Just see, sir. Food is good. Okay. Next, I am hearing. I am hearing. Next, the table is black. So see the sign, it's table black. Okay, clear? Okay. So next is simple questions. So what is the first question? For questions, we have to bend our face a little bit. You have to see that it's with facial expression. The question comes like you can see the food good and both the words are same. So yeah, is the food good? See how the expressions are changing. For example, so your place is Tamil Nadu, right? You're all from Tamil Nadu. So is dosha good? Like dosha? Dosha good? Is dosha good? So that is the question, right? With expressions, we show the questions. Next. So are you in college? Are you in college? Yeah, that is sign for college. So before the expressions were different, right? Like for good, he will show one expression, and for questions, you will have to just lean little bit forward. Okay. So here are few questions with few question words. So you can link that with the questions. So first word, we will see the words. Okay, first, what, what. That is sign for what. Second, how, how. See the expression is different. So there is some internet problem with sir. I will just check it out. Okay, that is sign for what. Next is how. Next, why. So see, the signs is the same, right? Sign is the same. But what about the expression? We will get confused, right? So we will see with the question now. So what is your name? See, this is how we ask. So the question word is at the last. Okay. So your name what? That is the sign order. Your name what? Huh. Okay. Next. How old are you? Your age what? That is the sign order. Next. Why are you sad? So the sign order will be you sad. Why? So the sign, like if you see the hand shape, it's the same, right? But expressions are different. Understand? Sad. Why are you sad? So why are you sad? That is a sign for why are you sad. Okay. Clear? Next. Who are you? Who? Who are you? Where are you? That is a sign for where are you? When? That is a sign for when. When. So again, who are you? That is sign for who are you? You who? So where is your place? Your place where? Sign order is different. Yeah. Next. Onam. You know Onam, right? The sign for Onam is like this. Yeah. Onam or Onam. Onam. So the sign is when is Onam. The sign is like that. Onam when. Okay. Here. Next slide. So what is sign language? So we have learned few words, right? Now we will see what is sign language. So, for example, like your father and mother will be like using a native language, like it may be Tamil, your own language, right? And you will also be using the same language. So, if you are a hearing child and you are born to you are a deaf child and you are born to hearing parents, what will be the deaf child using? Which language will be the deaf child using? Since this child cannot hear, the mother tongue of that particular child will be sign language. Okay, so sign language is the native language of the deaf community or the native language used by the deaf community. Understand? Yeah. So sign language has its own grammar. Okay. For example, he said like for questions, for simple questions, for simple sentences, there are particular rules, right? So that are the rules of sign language. We cannot change the rules of sign language. Okay. So sign language have its own grammar and we will be signing accordingly. Then sign language. So some people think that sign language is dependent. which means we are translating the exact Tamil or exact Malayalam. No, it's not like that. It have different grammar, the arrangement and the structure is entirely different. So we have spoken languages, right? We are not, sign language is not dependent on spoken language. It's entirely different. Structure is entirely different. Clear? So sign language also, we make new signs. So like the deaf people, they used to observe the things and after that they will make new signs. For example, corona, before this word was not familiar and we don't have a sign for that. But once by 2020, when the corona started, people started using this word frequently, right? So at that time, deaf community, they made this sign. Okay. Then similarly, lockdown, quarantine, etc. They made new signs for each words. Yeah. So there are some misconceptions about sign language, misunderstandings, maybe we can tell like that. So that is very important to clear all the misconceptions. So sign language is not a natural language. Some people think like that. So some people also think that hearing people have researched on the sign language and they have developed the sign language, but it's entirely wrong. So what is the truth? Sign language develops naturally, okay? It automatically develops. Like deaf community, whenever they meet, whenever they communicate, they develop the sign language. Whenever they meet, communicate, and they discuss, they will make new signs for new words. Okay. So some people think that sign language is just a sort of gestures, pantomime, like that. So that is also entirely wrong thinking, because sign language is not gestures. It is a full-fledged language. Okay. Same as spoken languages, English, Hindi. The same way sign language also has its own grammar. As I said earlier, it's almost, and I have to say, it's similar to spoken languages. Okay. So he has already explained that I think sign language is dependent on spoken language. Some people think like that also, but it's also wrong. Some people think that sign language has limited expressive capacity, like the concept, expression of concept is limited. That thinking is entirely wrong. Deaf people can talk about, sign about anything. Let it be past, future, present, let it be science, let it be geographical related, anything, any concept, anything can be taught in sign language. So both the languages are equal. So some people think that sign language is same all over the world. Some people think that it's universal, but that thinking is also wrong. Actually, we have different sign languages, almost 200 and above. So it's different in different places. So the thinking is entirely wrong. We have different sign languages. For example, same in India, we have different languages, right? Hindi. We have different languages, Hindi, Malayalam, Tamil, right? Tamil, Orissa or language Oriya. So different languages are there, right? In the same way, sign language, also we have different sign languages. So next is manual communication. Manual communication, that is the topic. So there are few points under manual communication. Let's see that. So first one is sign language. So we will talk about gestures first. So yes, gestures we use in communication, but it doesn't mean it's sign language. We use gestures like few gestures, right? Like this. We have gestures, but it doesn't mean it makes the sign language. Okay. So angry. How do you show angry? Angry. Yeah, angry. We have expression, right? When we are angry, we have a facial expression, right? So that is facial expression. Then finger spelling. Just a minute. The internet. Okay. Next is finger spelling. So finger spelling is also used in sign language, but it doesn't mean we have to spell everything. We use it in a limited way. For example, for expressing our name, place names, etc. Okay, it's used in a limited only. So next is sign system. It's like whatever we have in the English sentences, we sign in that exact way, and it is not also, it's not used in communication. It's just a sort of educational structure. Okay, then mime is also expressing or enacting particular situation. Okay, so we don't use the sign system in sign language. It's entirely different thing. So next is the very important thing, deaf culture. So there is deaf culture and hearing culture. We'll just go through. So sign language is part of deaf culture. For hearing, what for, I mean, for us, we use spoken language, right? Yeah, we use spoken language. And deaf people, they use sign language. It's a part of culture, right? And eye. Why is it eyes? Because signing is visual. We cannot hear, right? Deaf people can't hear. So they use visual power, right? What about us? We we hear, right? So that's why ear and eyes. Next, hands bar sign. So what is that? Deaf people can't talk, right? So they use hands for signing. And for us, we hearing people, we use mouth, we speak, right? We speak whatever we have to express, we will speak. Next one, video calls, video, and oh yeah, video. And for us, we use audios, right? We send audios. Then vibration, vibration, because deaf people can't hear, so they use vibration system. For hearing people, we have sound alerting systems even at our homes, right? But they use vibration alerting system. Then video call. Video call. Deaf people used to do video calls. What about us? We do voice call, right? So that is also a difference. Difference. Okay. Next, we have ring bells, right? At home, we have calling bells. But for the deaf people, they have light bells. Okay. Because at deaf people's home, they can't hear. So they use light bulbs, I mean light alarms or light bell. Okay. And in TVs, deaf people, they can't hear. So they have captioning system, and hearing people, we can listen, right? We have listening skill, and also we will see the caption, right? So the deaf people, they have now interpreters on the TVs right now. There are many channels who provide interpreters with the news channels. At, for us, we can hear and also we can see the captioning. So we can read and understand. Also, we can listen, right? Yeah. But for deaf people, they have subtitling, but they can't understand. Maybe they will feel little bit difficult. At that time, they can see the interpreters. They can see the interpreters and they can understand the concept. Okay, clear? And next thing is sports. Sports. For hearing people, in sports we have like shooting, right? For example, it's for starting a race, we use gun shoot, right? But for deaf people, they can't hear. What do you think they will do? They have to have something visual, right? Any idea? In deaf sports, have you seen deaf Olympics? Okay, it's okay. So for deaf people, before starting the race, like the deaf people, they are more visual oriented, right? So they will be in that particular sport item, they will use clothes or like cloth piece. They will wave the cloth piece and then the competition will start. So that is difference. Clear? Okay. Next, thank you. Finished. So the session is finished. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a wonderful session. We have some questions with our student participants. Shall we go with the questions, ma'am?
Okay, okay.
Students, you can ask your questions now.
Okay. Yeah, you can start asking the questions. Students? Yeah.
Difference between Indian Sign Language and other sign language.
Ma'am, your microphone is muted.
So you're not audible. I didn't hear your question.
Yes, ma'am. Different between Indian Sign Language and other sign language, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he will answer that. Just wait. So in Indian Sign Language, like in India itself, we have different cultures, right? It's different in different places. Okay, so I think he misunderstood the question. I will just explain. Yeah. So there are a few differences between different sign languages. We have Indian Sign Language, like the month, the weeks, the colors. These signs will be different in different places. For example, in Orissa, the sign for number 8. Okay, the sign for number 8 is like this, and in Kerala it is like this. Okay, so that is the difference for numbers, months, and days. For that particular things, the sign will be different. There will be 75% similar. Means the sign languages in different places will be 75% similar and 25% difference. Months also, yeah. And festivals, Onam, it's in Kerala, right? It's not in the north places. Yeah. So the sign is only used by the South Indian people. But in North India, they have Dasra. So that sign they will use. So it depends on the culture. Okay. Okay. So who was asking that question? I don't know. So Indian Sign Language and the other sign language. Actually, there were researches conducted. Okay. When we were doing the sign language researchers, our researchers like Ulrike Seshan, Madan Vasishta, and they were collecting the signs from different parts of India. Okay, from Tamil Nadu, from Calcutta, then from the North India. So they were collecting the signs and they were checking the similarities. Okay, they were checking the similarities, and whatever similar signs are there, they were choosing that similar signs and they were making the dictionary for Indian Sign Language. Okay, and Indian Sign Language is a standardized language which is used all over India. Okay, and in Kerala, Kerala also we have different sign language for, as Satya sir said, for weekdays like Monday, it is in ISL this is Monday. Okay, but in Kerala this is Monday, so that is also different. So weekdays, months, and numbers, this will be different. So there are 25% difference, that is called regional difference, which means I don't know if you can relate this. In Kerala itself, the people in the North Kerala, they will talk Malayalam little differently. And in South Kerala, they will talk little differently. In the same way, I think in Tamil Nadu also, Chennai, people talk Tamil in a different way, and people in other places, I have heard that people talk in different ways. That is called the regional variations. Okay, so in similarly we have regional variations in sign language also. Okay, I think you got your answer. So any
Yes,
other
ma'am. It's clear,
questions?
ma'am.
Yeah, any other questions? Any other questions?
Students, please be quick with your questions.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Will it be possible to identify the hearing malfunction of a baby while in the uterus, ma'am?
Hearing malfunction, that we have to consult with audiologist. Okay, so
Okay,
sir,
ma'am.
yeah, so because sir is a deaf teacher, so he's not related to audiology, but still I think there are few tests. Okay, but particularly we can't specify it as hearing impairment or any other. Maybe like if they have some mental retardation, autism, etc., can be detected, I think. Okay, so you have to
Okay,
check that with
thank you.
audiologist. Okay, so if
Thank
I
you.
get an answer, I will definitely mail. Okay. So any other questions?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good
May
afternoon.
whether the hearing impaired or emotionally strong while living with ordinary people?
Okay, that question we have to ask to Satya sir. Is Cincy sir understood the question or there is an internet? Okay. Are deaf people emotionally strong when they are with hearing community, right? That was the question. So they are emotionally strong. They are normal actually. They can discuss anything and everything. But if they are using sign language with others, then it's okay. But if we come to hearing community, it's okay for them. They will write and show, or else they will have an interpreter with them. So that if the communication is good, it's fine. I think the students must learn sign language to make this world accessible. Okay. So any other questions?
Ma'am, I have a question in our WhatsApp group. Who
Okay,
else
ma'am.
can, it is from our students.
Hmm.
Who else can use the sign language except the hearing impaired people?
Okay. So he will answer that question. Okay. So there are a variety of people in the deaf community. Hearing people also can learn sign language. Like friends of deaf people, they use sign language. Any people can use sign language. If they know sign language, they can use that. It's not necessary that only deaf people can use. There are deaf blind people, they also use sign language. Okay, deaf blind people, they sign. So there are all of you can use sign language. There is no necessary that only deaf people can use. So as Satya sir said, deaf blind people also use sign language. Okay, so that is actually called tactile thing. Okay, so how interpreters interpret is they will touch the hands of the deaf blind person, and when they sign, we will be like this, and full time they will be in their hands will be with the interpreter. They will touch and understand the signs. That is called tactile interpreting. Okay, we have that type of interpreting also. And actually social workers can use sign language. If they learn, that will be very beneficial for the deaf community. And interpreters use sign language. And in our niche, all the teachers know sign language, because here we are teaching the courses in sign language only. So all the teachers know sign language. Okay, so everyone can use. Only thing is you have to learn. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am. There are a few questions in our chat also. Shall I read it for you?
Yeah, sure.
It is from Dr. Saraswati of English Department. Why don't we incorporate the sign language in our education? Why don't we make it, why don't we
Yeah.
consider it in our system, syllabus?
Yeah, I understood. I am just waiting for the interpreter to complete. We have to give full accessibility, right? Yes, it's possible. So I think his internet is down. Okay. So I think you will know NCRT. So NCRT textbook is used everywhere, right? So for the deaf people, as the teachers don't know the signs, it will be very difficult for them to teach, right? Few of the deaf teacher, hearing teachers, they don't know sign. So at ISLRTC, that is Indian Sign Language Research and Training Center, they are currently translating all the NCRT textbooks to sign language. Okay, so that project is actually approved by the government. Okay, and the budget is also prepared, everything is ready, and this project has actually started. The video recording, everything has started, and I think shortly they will be publishing it. So I think after they get the approval, that will be published. Okay, as before Raji ma'am told, like in National Education Policy 2020, it is clearly specified that ISL should be a subject. Okay, ISL should be taught in schools as a subject. So surely it will be coming. I don't know when. Maybe by next year or maybe by 2022, ISL will be a subject for all the students, and at that time maybe this will be possible. Hope. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. The second question is from Kanagalakshmi. How can we strengthen a hearing impaired child and make it more comfortable at the early stage?
Okay. Okay. Okay, then I will tell. So actually, the language acquisition normally happen at the age of 0 to 3. Okay, so as early as we detect, it will be easy for language acquisition. Okay, so what we normally do is at niche, we have to check all the children whether they are hearing impaired or not. So once we have detected, we have to put them in early intervention program. We have here early intervention program. Okay, at early intervention program, they have to go through all the trainings with hearing aid. Okay, so and if okay, you want me to repeat? Okay, Jinsi, ma'am, can I repeat that? Okay. So the child will be moved to early intervention program. At early intervention program, with hearing aid, the child will be taught the language. Okay. So if the child is facing difficulty in learning the spoken language, we have another program that is bilingual education. Bilingual education is actually using sign language as the primary language to teach a secondary language. Okay, secondary language is used for reading and writing, like either English or Malayalam or Tamil, whatever. Okay, so normally we have to take them to early intervention program. That is the only thing we can do as early as possible. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
The next question is from Mrs. Murugalakshmi of English department. In what way we can use science in the language classroom effectively?
Science in which classroom?
Language classrooms?
You mean like teaching English?
Obviously, ma'am.
Okay. I think the simple and easy answer is teachers have to learn sign. Once you learn sign language, then only you can teach, right? So learning science and then teaching is an easy way, the only way actually.
There are two more questions, ma'am. One
Yeah.
thing is it like a heredity? Is this problem because of heredity? And the next question is related to this. Are there any surgeries to recover this?
Okay, I am not an expert person to answer this because I'm an interpreter, but still, as far as I know, this can be hereditary. Yes, this can be hereditary. It happens, but rarely. Like when we do consanguineous marriages, at that time also this deafness can happen, and it's not completely like prevented. Okay, we can do hearing, I mean, we can fit hearing aids after testing. Some people do cochlear implants also, but I don't know how much effective is that. And I am not an expert person to talk, neither Satyasa. We don't know. Okay, we don't know to tell more about this cochlear implant, hearing aid, etc. So for that, maybe you can, I mean, we can arrange a session. If you want, you can just mail to us. We will arrange a session on that, like early intervention program, cochlear implant, hearing aid usage, etc. You can just mail to Raji ma'am. We can have another session on that also. So the expert people can answer this question. I am an interpreter and sir is an ISL teacher. So actually we are not familiar with this topic. Okay.
It's really very kind of you, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I think we are done with the questions. Are there any more questions? Oh, that's it, ma'am.
Okay.
Just a proper formal vote of thanks. I'm really overwhelmed to express my sincere gratitude to our resource persons, Ms. Rajagopal, Mr. Satyadas, Ms. Shanti, and Ms. Jinsi Miriam Jacob. Their expertise in the field will definitely benefit our students. Their sincerity, dedication, and coordination are really enchanting. Again, I thank Ms. Rajagopal for offering such an enlightening session to our younger generation. They, in turn, will definitely render this knowledge to the society. Thank you, Madam and Sir. Next, I would like to thank our Principal, Dr. S. Ganeshram, and Dean, Extension Activities, Dr. Aranesh, for their support in enriching the knowledge of our students at a regular interval of time. Thank you, sir. My thanks are extended to Mrs. Murugalakshmi, Dr. Saraswati, and Mrs. Lata of English Department for their support in coordinating this session. My special thanks are extended to the dear student participants of this program for their enthusiastic participation and cooperation. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, bye.
Thank you, ma'am.